it's open to, you may be seated if you like. It's open to questions, if you have any questions about the Hawaiian flag, while you got me here, I guess. You ask the questions. Yes, sir.
Why the 31st?
Why the 31st? Well, as I was reading, about all the things that occurred, he asked why the 31st. Well, actually, the 31st was a holiday in the kingdom for many, many years as Restoration Day. And that was because when the British, Lord Paulette, February 15, 1843, many years before I was born, but my birthday is February 15th. He came to Hawaii, took control of the Hawaiian Islands, lowered all of the Hawaiian flags, and raised the Union Jack. And so the Hawaiians, a lot of Hawaiians hid their flags. He ordered the flags to be burned. So then when the Queen found out about what had happened here, she sent the Admiral Thomas to restore the kingdom. And that was July the 31st, 1843. So that is why they chose that date as Hawaiian Flag Day, July the 31st.
I have heard in a version of the events of the Thomas Square flag re-raising and the subsequent Thanksgiving ceremony at Heiau Church that Kauikeoli, Kamehameha III, decreed that from then on the order of the stripes would be changed to have the white stripe on top, symbolizing that righteousness, that Admiral Thomas had done the right thing by Hawaii and that righteousness had triumphed. But I haven't been able to find out what was the previous order, except for one reference that said that there were 9 stripes, so that there were an equal number of colors, of stripes of each color, and that the 9th one represented the island of Heiau, just north of Heiau. Do you know anything about the previous order?
You are correct about that.
Okay, great, thank you.
The order of the stripes on the flag, when the Kamehameha's flag had 9 stripes. They were not in any particular order, except for blues started at the top, and then red, white, and then it started off again blue, and it just kind of just was not in any particular order. And so when Kamehameha III commissioned his flag, and this is what you call the last standard, was done in Great Britain. He ordered that the colors would be changed, and he dropped one stripe. And so a lot of the historians, they still don't understand why it was dropped, because the 9th island was just as important as any of the other islands, because there were inhabitants on that island. There was really no reason to drop it, I guess. But I'm sure that he had a reason, and that reason we don't know.
Well, he was maybe the one who sold it to the Robinsons.
Yeah, maybe. Well, no.
Who was
Wait a
the,
minute. I did know who it was.
maybe that was the next.
I think that was Kamehameha V.
Well,
Yeah.
The resolution to have the Hawaiian flag flying independently of the United States flag, like at Iolani and the Royal Mausoleum. I understand the National Park controls this section, but does not the Heiau belong to the Hawaiian people? And
The Heiau actually is under the stewardship of the National Park Service, so it belongs to the United States. It belongs to all of us.
right,
But yes, I mean, it is a temple to Kamehameha's war god, and it is in reference to the Hawaiian people, as well as the flag. But national parks and national historic sites are treasures of the United States and belongs to all people, yeah. But it could fly independently. As I was saying, it wouldn't have to fly out in front of the visitor center, but it could be somewhere else. Kamehameha, it is said that his flag was bellowing in Kauai High when he was here. It was here, whether it was down at his residence, which it probably was, that's where it was probably flying. So they could fly it there. Why, you know, just that flag.
Ernest,
Mhm.
when Kamehameha would fly his flag, it wasn't here because we have where they dredge all this junk out here.
Mhm.
It was inside here.
It was in here,
That's right.
okay.
In Pelikane.
And she
That's
knows,
That's where Kamehameha
right,
raised his flag up.
we have descendants here of the family, and he was born and raised here. And she knows a lot about what is going on. So it was here. I stand to be corrected, because I didn't know exactly where, but his residence was down at, back before that was,
In Pelikane, that's where his residence was.
Right.
Right in Pelikane.
mhm. Yeah, that's correct. Ernest, any
So
more?
the original holiday is Lavo Iho'iea? The what?
That was restoration.
Yeah, but that's the 31st, the holiday of.
Right, that is also the 31st, right? So it's on the same date as the Hawaiian flag, yeah. But that was, that's not a state, that was a kingdom.
So when the guys overthrew the kingdom, did they officially discontinue that holiday at that time?
It didn't go on the state books,
Uh-huh.
yeah. But, of course, a lot of the Hawaiians still, you know, celebrate that day, of course, and by raising the flag at Thomas Square. Any more questions in reference to the flag?
Oh, anecdotes about the possible origins?
Well, Kamehameha the First was actually given a Union Jack, just the jack, same size as, not his flag, but a 3x5. And he actually kept that flag for 22 years. That was his flag. And it was given by Captain George Vancouver. And he was a good friend of Kamehameha. But during the time that Kamehameha got involved with the sandalwood trade, he had some ships. Kamehameha had ships. Now, you know, during the American and British wars, he was advised that it wouldn't be good to be sailing your ships out there with the British flag. You know, that would say that you were on the British side. So, Captain Beckley and some of the other folks like John Young and Isaac Davis in conference with Kamehameha said, why don't you design your own flag? Of course, you know, that was an idea. So he, when he designed his flag, that's when he put the stripes on to represent the islands. But he kept the Union Jack because of his friendship with Great Britain. So it would look like if he had a ship out there, well, they would say, well, it looks American. And then, but it looked British too, so the British, all the Americans, of course, they wouldn't do it. But when his ship, one of his ships sailed to China, and they didn't recognize the Hawaiian flag, and it stayed in the port there for quite a few days, and he had to pay a heavy tax. But King Kamehameha said, that's okay. If they're gonna charge me tax, when they come here, they're gonna pay tax. So that's when the ships that come to Hawaii, they started paying tax, because they gave it to him. So he said, well, he learned the lesson. Is that, oh, that's how they do it. So you gotta pay port tax when you come here. Yeah. Any more questions on the flag? Or if you want to just watch that video, and we do have a handout that we're going to pass out. Now later on in another program, possibly, a lot of people always ask, well, we've never seen the flag that Kamehameha had. Well, I've been involved with this thing now for, what, 19 years? And we finally found, not the flag, but we do have something that we're going to show, that I would like to show, that Kamehameha had, and it's way, way before this flag. This last standard was made. And in reference to those colors that you were talking about the stripes, or order of the stripes, reference that too. It was right on our noses, but you know, you gotta really dig when you're trying to find out something. So we don't have the actual flag, but we have a visual aid that we can show. Kamehameha actually had that flag. Because a lot of people try to say that this is not the flag of Kamehameha. Well, they're wrong, because it is the flag. Now, a lot of chiefs had their own family pennants, certain family flags that they had, but this was the king's flag. Okay. Well, I thank you all for coming out and listening to the laws in reference to Hawaiian Flag Day. And Sunday is the actual day. You can fly your flag. I do have one more thing to put on. When I said you can fly your flag, it made me think. You can fly your flag on July the 31st. That is the day to fly the flag. Now, I went on to the internet. Don't put your faith in the internet if you research and trying to get some kind of information out of it, because you better research what you research. And this comes from Flags of the World website. Flags of the World website. Okay, now, this is all about the state flag here. Hawaii state holidays and flag flying days. State holidays and flag flying days. Okay, flag flying days. Now, will we fly the flag on July the 31st because it's Hawaiian Flag Day? You bet. But on here, it's not even listed. And 1988 was the first program. 1990 was when Governor Whitehead signed it into law. This was updated, I think the last update was 2008. It last modified. Oh no, 2010, just last year. They got all the days here that you can fly the Hawaiian flag, but not one reference to July the 31st at all.
You send them a note?
I plan to, yeah. I have not yet, but I will. So, you know, that just goes to show you is that you can't go on the internet and try to pull off something and think that it's right. It may not be. So it's obvious that they don't know about this law, about the state flag. But we can correct them on that. And it's not just something that we're going to tell them. We can actually cite the law on Hawaiian Flag Day. Okay, so on July the 31st, but if you go out and buy a flag, you're gonna end up paying about $40 for it here. You can order a flag for half that price. But I just don't understand why they charge that much for it, but it's about $40 at Walmart for a Hawaiian flag.
They have a light duty one, more for indoor at basically Books in Hilo for more like 16.
Where is it?
Basically book,
Basically
the book,
book.
Hawaiian
In
bookstore
Hilo.
on Bayfront on Kamikaze.
But July the 31st is the date to fly your flag. I intend to have mine up, but the reason, I will have to get another flag because we have a home in Texas too, and I have my other Hawaiian flag in Texas because I intend to fly it there too. All right, so thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate you coming to this, and I hope that you got something out of the program. I actually got 15 minutes. I have 15 more minutes if you want to drill me.